It's a much warmer day here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, as the Yakima Valley Pippins prepare for Game 2 against the Edmonton Riverhawks, north of the border. Riverhawks taking the series last night. Good evening, everybody. I'm Harmon Johnsen, your voice of the Yakima Valley Pippins, sitting high above the action here at Remax Field in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. So lovely to be here. So excited that we get to play baseball again another day in front of what's going to be a very large crowd for the Riverhawks as they celebrate their Pride Night tonight. Pippins last night falling in game one after a very long travel day. They fell 14-10, and really it was the first inning that kind of did it in for Yakima Valley last night. They got 3 runs on a Parker Burt 3-run home run fresh off the plane. Pippins had arrived at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. They got to the ballpark at about 5 o'clock. They hit. They got on the field, and Parker went yard. 3-0 Pippins after a half an inning, and then Josh Mawhinney, who has been one of the best pitchers in the West Coast League, and I believe still is, just had an off night last night, a third of an inning, 7 earned runs, and 5 walks. Still with a ERA that is much more respectable than most after playing 3 games, especially 3 starts. Came into the game with a 0 ERA, and he had the Pitcher of the Week award in the opening weekend. So Josh, just a little bit of an off night, and it's unfortunate that the inning continued to go on like it did for Edmonton last night. Pippins really just couldn't dig themselves out of the hole that they had created. But speaking of digging out of the hole, Pippins did score 10 runs in last night's game on 12 hits, which I was talking with the Edmonton staff here this afternoon when we got back to the ballpark. That's too many for them to give up during a loss, and they only picked up 9 hits themselves, 14 runs. So the Edmonton staff, despite the win, a little bit disappointed in the fact that the Pippins were able to come back in the game. Yakima Valley scored 2 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, and 3 runs in the 9th inning to make things somewhat interesting. The tying run was in the on-deck circle when the Riverhawks brought in a new pitcher to earn a save, getting a third of an inning and having Daichi Furuhata ground into a fielder's choice to force out Jay O'Neill and close the game. And so tonight, the Pippins are going to look to really force Edmonton to hit. 9 hits last night in the contest. It sounds like, why are you saying that, Harmon? But there were 15 runs potentially out there because of free passes. You got to remember, 7 walks in the first inning. There were about 5 more the rest of the night. Edmonton was held scoreless until the 8th inning after scoring all 13 runs in the first 3. And so if you don't allow free passes, you're going to end up on top here against Edmonton. 13 walks, 5 hit by pitches. You really just have to make them earn it tonight if you are the Pippins pitching staff. And Luke McGuire will get the ball tonight, the lefty, to try to do just that. Even though pitching was kind of the disappointment last night, you got to realize Torin Eggy in his debut for the Yakima Valley Pippins, 2 perfect innings out of the bullpen in relief, 2 strikeouts as well. Eggy looked really good. Parker Burt, of course, was 3 for 4 last night, hitting an even 500 on the year. Nick Velasquez also collected a couple of doubles to go along with a single. He had a pair of RBI. He's got a team high 11 runs driven in. Daichi Furuhata, if you watched the postgame interview last night, I talked to Parker Burt about the middle 3 in this order, and that's all 3 of them. Parker Burt, Nick Velasquez, Daichi Furuhata. 3 for 5 night. He had 3 more runs. He has 20 of them on the season now. So certainly going to be one of those games that if you can hold Edmonton at bay in the batter's box and limit the free passes, you're going to have a very, very good chance. The Riverhawks last night, 4,544 fans here. And in my first experience in this ballpark, a former AAA stadium, it is very, very loud. The play is loud. The crowd here filed into the half bowl really circulates onto the field. There's an open backdrop beyond the outfield wall, but the wind blowing in from right field means that all the noise that is made stays in the ballpark. And so it's going to have to be one of those, take the crowd out of it as soon as possible especially with this crowd expected to be over 5,000 tonight, again, here on Edmonton's Pride Night. Riverhawks are going to thrive on pressure. They have a bunch of different guys that can sacrifice themselves. Obviously, they didn't need to yesterday with all of the walks, but they can take advantage of it. We saw that yesterday. So the Pippins just going to try to limit free passes tonight, going to try to score again in the first inning. And just don't worry about the fact that you dropped last night's game. Move on to tonight. Know that you were in the positive side of things in the second half of the contest yesterday, and get ready for game 2 before an early afternoon start tomorrow at 1:05 p.m. So there's a recap and a preview of tonight's game. Who's going to be doing it? Well, let's meet the starting lineups for both of these teams as the pregame festivities continue here at Edmonton. Leading it off for the Riverhawks, coming in at 5-7 today, will be number 25, Matt Van Slyke. He plays third base. Kotora Wakui will be in right field today after batting in the middle of the order. He is hitting number 2. He wears number 31. Batting third, a new bat we did not see last night, Shiryu Sato, a second baseman wearing number 1, will bat third. Easton Andrews is playing first base tonight. He'll bat cleanup and wear number 51. The number 5 hitter will be the catcher, number 32, Jason Green. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, number 37, Connor Kavnar, another bat that the Pippins have not seen. Number 36, Mitchell Middlemiss, the center fielder, will play there in the field today. He will bat seventh. Cale Clark got a pinch hit appearance last night. He is playing left field. He wears number 24. And then rounding it out for Edmonton is Devin Simonton, shortstop wearing number 3. He will bat ninth. So again for Edmonton, Van Slyke, Wakui, Sato, Andrews, Green, Kavnar, Middlemiss, Clark, and Simonton. The head coach for the Edmonton Riverhawks is Jake Lanferman. He's assisted by Levi Moon and his pitching coach, Jamie Wilson. Yakima Valley tonight. Going to send out a little bit different of a lineup, just in the sense of players and where they're hitting in the order. Not necessarily different guys, but you're going to have Tyson Miller leading it off tonight, like he did before Jay O'Neill joined the squad earlier last week. He will play left field. Batting second in his normal spot, the third baseman, Daichi Furuhata. Batting third, Nick Velasquez, back to his normal number 17 tonight after wearing 67 last night. He is playing second base today. Parker Burt is doing the catching. He'll bat cleanup and wear number 25. Jay O'Neill, the center fielder, moves down to the 5-hole. He wears number 7. Batting sixth is the right fielder, number 15, Luis Garcia. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, number 27, Garen Guler. Batting eighth is the first baseman tonight, number 12, Jackson Walker. J-Dub getting his first action, as is Garen Guler tonight in this series. And then in the 9-hole is Cole Hubka, who had a great debut in the number 9 spot a couple of days ago in Ridgefield, as he was able to go 2 for 3 and draw a couple of walks as well. Hubka, the shortstop, wearing number 6, will be in the 9-hole. So again for Yakima Valley, Miller, Furuhata, Velasquez, Burt, O'Neill, Garcia, Guler, Walker, and Hubka. They are managed by Coach Kyle Crustangel, assisted by Gunnar Ueda Pancheri and Ethan Salscheider. Krusty Panch and Salsa, the coaching staff for Yakima Valley. 2 starting pitchers tonight that have very similar numbers, believe it or not. Luke McGuire is on the hill for Yakima Valley. He'll be up in the bottom of the first, 8 2/3 innings. He's 0-1. He's got a 7.27 ERA. Derek DeVos is the starter for Edmonton. He has pitched 8 2/3 innings as well. Has given up 4 less hits with 6. He has a 3.12 ERA, but don't let that fool you. He has given up a few more runs than that ERA would suggest. Both guys making their 3rd start of the season. DeVoe is going to be playing in his 4th game, where McGuire has made starts as his only 2 appearances. On-field ceremonies continue. Plate meeting is happening now between Jake Lamperman and Kyle Crustangel, the umpiring crew as well out there. This place continues to fill up here in Region 6 or Treaty 6 territory in the north central part of the province of Alberta. I'm not quite as familiar with Canadian government and geography, but I know that it's a very pretty area out here. The city is big. The skyline is great. I was out on center field doing some filming with some of the guys before the game, and you take a look over at the skyline from center field. It's just beyond the wall over on the, well, if you're in the outfield, the left-hand side. So looking to the north as this field is oriented to the southwest, it is so pretty. And I've been in a couple of cities doing some traveling for some different broadcasts. I think I would love to play outfield here at Edmonton, especially left field or center field. You've just got that crazy city backdrop right in your sight line when you're trying to field a ball. And of course, this big grandstand as well. What a place to play the great game of baseball here in Canada. Again, we said it last night, the travel might be tough for most of the teams in this league, but the payoff is getting to play in front of large crowds in a stadium that was built for those guys that were about to make it to the major league level a few years, just a few years ago. And of course, hotel accommodations have been great so far. The travel has been great so far. We've not had any issues as the team traveling around. There's plenty of food options. I even for lunch went to A&W, which we do have in the States, but something that they have here that we don't have down in the United States is poutine on the menu. And I tell you what, I haven't had poutine for a while because I've never been to Canada, and the only poutine I've ever had has been non-traditional poutine, let's just call it that. And so to go up to the window, order a poutine as my side, and then devour those cheese curds, gravy, and French fries, it made me feel like I was a true traveler. So let's just say lunch was good, even though it sounds like fast food, which it is. Also, root beer at A&W. I got a chilled mug instead of a to-go cup because I sat down and ate it. Best idea I've ever had on a road trip like this with the team. It started freezing in the mug. That's how cold it was. Really made my day before we came out to the ballpark. And if you hear me pause like I just did there, it's because this is game 5 of 6 on the road. We've got one more and then an off day. And I will do my best to rest my voice so that on Tuesday we can be as loud and as confident as possible. But there might be a couple of those coughs or pauses here in the broadcast. I try not to do much talking during the day, but 5 games, we got one more left. It's gonna be an interesting night for the vocal cords of your voice of the Pippins, Harmon Johnsen. Teams lining up on the lines in front of their dugouts, and we get ready for the presentation of the national anthems. Well, if that doesn't fire you up to play some baseball, maybe this will. The umpires taking the field, so will the players for the Riverhawks as Yakima Valley about to take on Edmonton in game 2 of this 3-game series. So glad you are with us tonight, wherever you may be listening from, either on YouTube or on pippinsbaseball.mixler.com. Taking the field, the Riverhawks and Derek DeVoe, 8 and 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 7 runs, only 3 of them earned, 9 walks, 7 strikeouts. He's 0-1 with a 3.12 ERA. And so for DeVoe, making his 3rd start of the season, he hails from West Texas A&M University, 6'3", 190 on the hill, looking to limit damage against Yakima Valley, hold the Pippins scoreless in their first frame, something that the starter last night, Chase Halverson, could not do. Leather behind him, Clark in left, Middlemiss in center field, Wakui in right, Van Slyke, Simonson, Sato, and Andrews left to right from third to first, Green doing the catching, and Derek DeVoe on the hill for the Edmonton Riverhawks. Pippins will send up Tyson Miller, Daichi Furuhata, and Nick Velasquez first here in this contest. Pippins wearing their blue uniform tops with gray pants, white Pippins and block lettering on the chest, a stick with an apple hanging down on the left chest. The green apple, of course, the Pippin variety. They'll wear blue caps today when they take the field defensively in the bottom of the first. Edmonton wearing white uniforms tonight. They have dark blue caps and light blue bills on those caps, white pants as well to go along with it. But the white uniform has a rainbow stripe on the left side going from belt to shoulder back down to belt. As I mentioned earlier, it is their Pride Night tonight here in Edmonton. The Riverhawks uniforms also feature a light blue number on the right chest as well as light blue numerals square on the back. DeVoe finishes his warm-ups. The throw goes down to second. We're ready to play baseball here in Alberta, Canada. Pippins north of the border for day 2 of 3 before having a 1 o'clock game tomorrow and then a getaway day type of atmosphere after the 1:05 first pitch. We're delayed a little bit here from the start because Green needs a pair of glasses to do the catching. The sun will be setting beyond the right field wall as this game goes along. Bright sunshine, no clouds here in Edmonton. Let's play ball, says home plate umpire Scott Eckhart. Third base, MJ Willis. First base, Brandon Strokey. Out of the windup, the first pitch from DeVoe is a ball on the inside part of the plate to make the count 1-0. 7:10 local time, mountain time here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. The 1-0 pitch is left upstairs. They appeal down to third base. MJ Willis says there was no swing by Tyson to make it 2 balls and no strikes. Fastball for DeVoe sitting at 92 the last couple of pitches, as the first pitch temperature is 20 degrees Celsius. 2-0. Tyson chops one foul off his front foot as it rolls out to third base. Tyson did that down in Ridgefield, and he's going to take a second to try to gather his strength back. That looked like it hurt. For those of you that would rather hear the temperature in Fahrenheit, it is 71 degrees here in Edmonton. And clear skies, and surprisingly not much of a breeze, as Coach Crustangel heading down to check on his left fielder. Tyson shaking out the right foot. That is his front foot. Now training staff coming out from the Edmonton dugout on the third base side to check on Tyson. He keeps kicking his leg back up. He does have a guard there on the front foot, but he doesn't seem to be putting much weight on it. He gives a fist bump to Krusty, and looks like we're going to be staying with Tyson in the batter's box. Good to see. 2 pitches in. 3 pitches in, rather. 2 balls and a strike, the count. Derek DeVoe, glove in the face, now into the wind. The 2-1, Tyson sends it out towards shallow right field. This is dropping hard and dropping fast right in front of Wakui. Leadoff single for Yakima Valley. Tyson Miller, after fouling a ball off his foot, sends it down for a hit. Good start for the Pips. You can hear the ambient buzz on my microphone stuck out the window. It is a sea of humanity here at Remax Field, stretching from the right field bleachers all the way into the reserved seats around under the press box, and then the crowd kind of abruptly cuts off over towards what they call the school zone, which is another set of bleacher-style seats. So DeVoe goes to the stretch for the first time. Tyson takes a short lead. First pitch to Daichi Furuhata is down and away for ball one at 86. Appeared to be a slider from DeVoe, so certainly has hard stuff. Question is will it be in the zone for the Pippins to handle? 1-0. Pitch on the way. Fastball outer black. Called a strike right at 90. And so the Pippins, after scoring 3 runs in the first inning of last night's game, try to replicate here with the leadoff man aboard, Tyson Miller. Miller moving up to the leadoff spot as a pickoff chases him back to first. After a couple of good days at the plate, Tyson last night 1 for 2, drawing 2 walks and a hit by pitch as well. He was in the leadoff spot during Game 3 against Ridgefield, went 2 for 5. That was in the absence of Jay O'Neill as Daichi fouls the 1-1 pitch back to the screen. It's now 1-2. Nick Velasquez picks up that ball in his on-deck circle on the first base side. Lots of foul territory here at the hybrid field. Remax playing surface is turf infield, turf foul territory, natural grass outfield. Tyson takes a big jump over to first. They got him. Pickoff goes over there as Tyson was leaning towards second. So the leadoff single is erased. 1 away. Call it a pickoff. 1-3. Good timing by DeVoe to send the ball over when Tyson was in his jump towards second. He likes to take a shuffling style lead. Base is clear, 1 away. Daichi facing a 1-2 pitch. DeVoe breaking ball downstairs, 2-2. Interestingly, going still from the stretch, he was going out of the windup with nobody aboard, but started this at bat in the stretch. Looks like he's going to finish it in the stretch. 2-2 to Daichi. Upstairs, that's ball 3. So the count runs full to Furuhata after the pickoff over at first. Tyson Miller out number 1 of the ball game. Here comes the payoff pitch, now out of the windup from DeVoe. Daichi lays off. It's ball 4. He drops the bat and sprints down to first. So both guys have reached for Yakima Valley to start the game, but Miller was picked off. So that means there's only 1 on with 1 away. Nick Velasquez, the left-handed stick for Yakima Valley. Again, if you missed it last night, 3 for 5 with 2 RBI, a pair of doubles. First pitch to him inside near the belt. It's 1-0. That was the changeup by DeVoe. So we've seen 3 different pitches so far. Pippins coming into today, sitting in 4th place in the WCL South behind Ridgefield, Corvallis, and Walla Walla. Long pause, 1-0 pitch. Velasquez takes below the knees, 2-0. Beneath Yakima Valley in the standings is Portland, Marion, Springfield, and Bend. Pippins have a 3-game series against the Bend Elks when they get back home on Tuesday. Meanwhile, for Edmonton in the north, they sit in 5th place. 2-0. Nick sends it a mile high on the infield. Who's going to want it? Andrews over at first, backpedaling, nearly drops the ball. He catches it right on the webbing of the glove, standing 2 feet from first base. Daichi was standing on the bag. Otherwise, he would have been doubled off because Andrews threw the tag on immediately after catching that ball. No infield fly because there's only 1 runner on, and he's at first. Can't have an infield fly with only 1 guy on the base pads. So it's just a tall pop out by Nick Velasquez to the first baseman Andrews. And here's Parker Burt. Burt with a home run last night, now in the cleanup spot again. First pitch he sees. Slider on the outer half, called a strike. Edmonton in 5th place in the north behind Wenatchee, Bellingham, Nanaimo, and Kamloops. Kamloops, the first of 5 teams in the north with a losing record, is Burt on the ground sharply to third. Van Slyke going to go the short route to second base, and the Pippins leave a man on. So call it no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. No score for the Pippins in the top of the first. Edmonton coming up to hit next. You're listening to Pippins Baseball here north of the border at Remax Field. Welcome back to Remax Field, bottom of the first inning, about to get underway. Luke McGuire toes the slab for Yakima Valley on the season, 0-1, making his 3rd start, 8 2/3 innings pitched, 10 hits, 10 runs, 9 of them earned, 6 walks to 9 strikeouts for McGuire, sporting a 7.27 ERA. He will face Matt Van Slyke, Kotaro Wakui, and Shiryu Sato, the first 3 in the Edmonton order. The defense behind McGuire looks like this. Miller in left field, O'Neill in center field, Luis Garcia in right, Furuhata, Hubka, Velasquez, Walker from 3rd to 1st on the infield, and Parker Burt doing the catching for Luke McGuire as the throw goes down to 2nd. Last night for Matt Van Slyke, he was batting clear down in the 6th hole, and he went 0 for 1 with 2 runs scored. He drew a walk, he was hit by a pitch, he reached on a fielder's choice as well. And so for Van Slyke, moving to the leadoff spot tonight. Interesting, but he was on base 4 times, so you can make the argument. First pitch he sees is a ground ball out to short. Hubka, first chance at that position, sends it to first. 1 away on 1 pitch for Luke McGuire. Hubka played second base during the game in Ridgefield when he made his debut on Thursday. So getting a look at him at short. Good first test. He passed. Here's Kotaro Wakui, the right fielder. Went insane in the first 5 innings of last night's game. A single, a triple, 5 RBIs. The first pitch he sees from McGuire is down and away, ball 1. So Wakui, and if you didn't hear over the PA announcement when my crowd mic picked it up, was last night's player of the game for the Riverhawks. 1-1 now. McGuire sends one in over the heart of the plate. He went viral on local media. 1-1. Fouls it back into the stands. Here comes the souvenir. 1-2. He went viral on local social media because during the postgame interview, he was doused with the Gatorade bath and ripped his jersey off and threw it off. Called strike 3, top of the zone. Wakui looking back at Scott Eckhart, but 2 away here. Luke McGuire, a good start. Too bad he couldn't rip the bat around the zone there. Shiryu Sato from Kawasaki, Japan, did not play yesterday. Attends the University of Hawaii, Rainbow Warrior. First pitch he sees is popped up to first base. Jackson Walker makes the catch. 5 pitches is all Luke McGuire needs. to go 1-2-3 in the bottom of the first. Good start for Yakima Valley's defense. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left on. No score between Yakima Valley and Edmonton as we're through an inning here at Remax Field. Welcome back to Edmonton. No score between these two teams. Pippins and Riverhawks. Catcher for the Riverhawks, Jason Green, having a conversation with Scott Eckhart. His pitcher, Derek DeVoe, wanted a couple more warm-up pitches because one of the throws from Green sailed over his head, and the defense for the Riverhawks takes the field at the same time. So they were all standing at third base. Nobody was there to pick it up for him. And so DeVoe had to go himself and grab the ball. And so we do have a time limit between half innings, and the umpire was enforcing it as strictly as he's supposed to. We'll see if that affects how DeVoe's does here in the second inning. He faces Jay O'Neill, Luis Garcia, and Garen Guler to start. O'Neill in that left-hand batter's box. The first pitch he sees is a fastball that got his hand on the way by. Scott Eckhart immediately signals hit by pitch. Pippins have a leadoff man on for the second straight inning. Another good start to a frame is here's Luis Garcia, the right fielder. Garcia last night credited with an RBI. He went 0 for 3 with a sacrifice fly and a stolen base. First pitch he sees is skied over on the right side. It's out of play and into the stands. Will somebody make the catch? No. It falls in between a couple rows. Hard to see where the rows are because there's so many people in the stands tonight. Truly a crazy atmosphere. The only open rows that are in their entirety in most of the stadium are clear up here towards the press box. A pickoff throw over to first. Andrews had to turn into a catcher to keep that in front of him. 0-1 still the count. The bleacher seating, which I assume is the more general admission seating, clear down in foul territory on the right field side is packed. 0-1, wave and a miss by Garcia. It's 0-2. Most of the seating area with the chairbacks is full as well. Probably close to 7,000 people here, I would think. 0-2. Luis takes one upstairs from Derek DeVoe. Then again, last night I thought there were 6,000 and the attendance ended up being 45-44. So we'll see how I can count. I do know that there can't be more than 9,200 at this stadium. 1-2 pitch outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That is the official capacity of Remax Field. 9,200. I was talking with some of the members of the Edmonton press box staff. They said they'll sell out a couple of times this year. Canada Day on July 1st being the big one. Luis swings and misses. 2-2 pitch at the top of the zone. There's one away. Garen Guler strolling up to the plate. They said they had a kids game for the school children on Wednesday, and they had 8,000 students in the stands. Can you imagine 8,000 school-aged kids at a baseball game in the West Coast League? And mind you, this is a couple days after June 7th, which, if you don't know the days for that, is 6-7. First pitch to Garen Guler, outside with a breaking ball. It's 1-0. Good to see Garen back in the lineup tonight. He missed the last couple of days, getting some rest. Down here in the 7-hole. Decent lead over at first for O'Neill. Not going. The pitch. Down and away. 2 balls, no strikes. Garen, along with multiple other players, tied on the team lead for home runs with 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Pitch from DeVoe. Well outside, 3-0. But he also leads the West Coast League in strikeouts. And this is after not playing for a couple of days. That's how many times Garen has punched out at the plate. A very capable bat, a commit to the University of Portland, but just been in a funk recently. 3-0 pitch to Garen Guler. High and tight, ball 4 with an 89-mile-an-hour fastball. 2 walks in the frame. Pippins have him first and second with 1 away. That brings up Jackson Walker, who's been in a bit of a funk as well. J-Dub, he's affectionately called by Coach Panch and everybody else. Coming into this game, batting only 100. He's got 2 hits on the year. He does have a double. That is one of his 2. First pitch. Change up at the top of the zone. Called a strike by Scott Eckhart. I believe Eckhart was one of the 2 Canadian representatives for the umpiring crew at the West Coast League All-Star game last year in Bellingham. One of the best in Canada. Scott Eckhart calling the balls and strikes. 0-1 pitch. Jackson takes it outside, 1-1. Last game for Walker was game 3 against Ridgefield. He went 0 for 3. He's drawn a walk and a hit by pitch so far this year. On base percentage sitting at 182. 1-1. Fastball off the cap of the bat out towards first. Andrews fields it, goes on to second for 1. There will be no play at first. Guler, the middleman, forced out. The Pippins have him at the corners with 2 away on a fielder's choice, hit into by Jackson Walker. Now here's the number 9 hitter, Cole Hubka, who, as the number 9 hitter on Thursday, went 2 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored. His first at-bat as a Pippin was an RBI bases-loaded walk. That won't quite get the job done tonight. There's only runners at the corners, but squaring to bunt, runner takes off. The Riverhawks will just put it in their pocket. Green bobbled the ball on the transfer. It looked like he was going to throw all the way through to second. It's a stolen base for Jackson Walker. Pitch number 30 about to be thrown by Derek DeVoe. We're in the 2nd inning. He goes out of the windup with runners at 2nd and 3rd. The fastball is stung up into the air. Andrews chasing it towards foul territory, and it lands right in the expensive seats on the other side of the wall. Big, tall backstop netting here. The seating is very unique for a West Coast League stadium. You've got suites down on the field level, like you see at major league stadiums, but they're all individualized. And then you've got boxes up on the concourse, and then a huge section of general seating. 0-2. Hubka swings through an upstairs fastball. That is strike number 3. No runs for Yakima Valley. There were no hits. There were no errors. 2 left on, both of them in scoring position. To the bottom of the second we go. No score here in Edmonton. Luke McGuire faces the middle of the Riverhawks order next. Bottom of the second inning, 4, 5, and 6 due up for Edmonton, starting with Easton Andrews, the first baseman, and Jason Green, the catcher, Connor Kavnar, the designated hitter. Easton Andrews wears number 51. He's 5'11", 240 from Texas Tech. He's a senior who's been around baseball for a long time, and his walk-up song appropriately is God's Gonna Cut You Down, which talks about being on for a long time. Native of Fort Worth, all the way up here in Edmonton. First pitch he sees is a ground ball deep into the shift on the infield for the Pippins. It gets by Velasquez and into center field. First hit of the day for Edmonton. First hit of the day for Andrews. Pippins were playing him the right way, just so slowly hit that by the time that Velasquez, had he been playing a normal second base, he probably would have had it. So ground ball single by Andrews, not necessarily a threat to run. And now it's a lefty-lefty matchup with McGuire and Jason Green. First pitch, a slow breaking ball that Green well out in front of, 0-1. Got to correct myself. The first inning took 6 pitches instead of 5. I didn't click my pitch counter once. 0-1, another breaking ball. It's 0-2. The official scoring had McGuire at 6 pitches entering the inning. Oh well. Felt like 5. 0-2 pitch here. Green takes a breaking ball down and away. 3 straight of those for McGuire. Still ahead in the count, 1-2. Pitch on the way. Green fouls it off of his front leg. Count remains. Went with a fastball that time. It's sitting at around 86. Absolutely clear skies here in Edmonton. The sky is bright blue, kind of like these Pippins uniform. The 1-2 is skied on the infield. Drifting back, Hubka, the shortstop, makes the catch. 1 away here in the second inning. Andrews stays put at first. I mean, absolutely perfect. And I see people down in the stands fanning themselves as if it was hot. Sorry, it's 71 degrees. It is quite literally perfect. Pippin's having a great experience so far in Canada, other than the fact that last night was a loss. First pitch here to Connor Kavnar, the designated hitter, takes a ball upstairs at 87. Kavnar wears number 37 in the right-hand batter's box from Wichita State University. takes a pitch upstairs again, 2-0. Kavnar, a sophomore catcher, 5'11", 215. Makes the trip from Wichita State, which is, of course, in Wichita, Kansas. 2-0, fouled back my direction. It's going to land about 2 rows in front of me. I've got the window open. It got over the netting. A couple of kids celebrating the souvenir. This is a legitimate shot for a foul ball up here in the booth. 2 balls, 1 strike. The Shocker takes a strike. It's 2-2. That's what surprises me about this Edmonton roster. You see a lot of teams kind of try to stay local with their guys. 2-2. Line drive out towards left field. Miller drifting back. He makes the catch. Andrews will return back to first. 2 away. But the Riverhawks, as Mitchell Middlemiss from Chilliwack, British Columbia comes up, they've got guys from everywhere. University of San Francisco, Niagara University in New York, West Texas A&M University. Of course, Wichita State. You've got Texas Tech. You've got San Jose State. First pitch, a bender downstairs, ball 1 to Middlemiss. And the second baseman today, Shiryu Sato, claims he's from University of Tokyo. There's a strike on the outer half. 1 ball and 1 strike. McGuire trying to strand Easton Andrews, the leadoff single in this second inning. No score here in Edmonton. McGuire takes a look over there to first. Sends the 1-1 right past the bat of Mitchell Middlemiss, the center fielder. And it's now 1-2. Riverhawks had 13 runs after the first 3 frames last night. So far, we've got nothing but zeros on the scoreboard. The 1-2 pitch. Line drive right back where it came from into center field, down for base hit. Andrews lumbers on to second where he will stop. A single to start the inning, a single here with 2 outs, and Edmonton with 2 men aboard. Here's Cale Clark from Alabama State. See what I mean? Alabama State, he's a native of Billings, Montana, so at least his hometown up north in the United States. First pitch to him is sent foul over on the left side out of play. Cale Clark with no batting average yet this year. He's 0 for 3, making his first start. Got a pinch hit appearance last night, trying to get him started for today. 0-1. Again, a ground ball in the middle. A diving stop keeps the ball on the infield. Good job by Velasquez to stretch out his arm and prevent Andrews from scoring. But now the bags are loaded for Edmonton and the number 9 hitter, Devin Simonton. Three singles so far in the inning. Simonton, the shortstop. He's also 0 for on the year. He's 0 for 3, but he has scored a run. Hails from Antioch, California. Attends USD, University of San Diego. First pitch he sees is fouled straight back to the screen. 0-1. McGuire will chase down the loose pearl, as will Parker Bird, as it rolled off the backstop and into the field of play. Pippins also stealing a quick one-word chat before McGuire returns to the pitching rubber. Luke went 1-2-3 in the first inning, facing his 6th batter here in the second. Breaking ball down and in. The count moves to 1-1. Simonton wearing number 3 for these Riverhawks. He is also making his first start of the year. 1-1. Fastball right at the letters. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pippins a strike away from helping the Riverhawks strand the bases loaded. We'd appreciate that. McGuire appears in for the sign. Now comes set at the letters. Picks up the front foot. Here it comes. 1-2 fouled back. That got a big piece of Parker Burt on the way by. He goes down on all fours. As Coach Crustangel going to come check on his big catcher from Texas. He took the mask off. I wonder where that got him. He's doubled over with hands on his knees. Might have got him in an uncomfortable spot. Parker and home plate umpire Scott Eckhart kind of heads down to the ground talking to each other about where that ball might have got him. It's 1-2 strikes after the pitch was fouled off and got a piece of Burt. McGuire needs one more strike here. The pitch on the ground, out towards short. Hubka picks it, throws to first, and the Riverhawks leave the bases loaded. Yakima Valley induces a ground ball as there were no runs on 3 hits, no errors, and 3 Riverhawks left on base. Luke McGuire's through 2 innings. We are as well. No score here at Remax Field. We'll be right back. Top of the third. This is Pippins Baseball. Pippins back to the top of the batting order as we enter the top of the third inning. Tyson Miller led off the game with a single before being picked off. Pippins would then strand Daichi Furuhata, and they would not score. We are scoreless here in Edmonton. 1 hit for Yakima Valley, 3 hits so far for the Riverhawks. All 3 of those hits coming in the second inning. They left them on the pads, though. And now time for Yakima Valley to try to grab the lead. First pitch to Tyson is upstairs, ball 1. Tell you what, I've got the crowd mic turned way down, but all the noise you hear is coming in through my microphone. 1-0. Tyson takes inside. 2 balls, no strikes. Fastball has dipped just a little bit. 88 that last time from Derek DeVoe. 2-0. Tyson sends it foul over on the left side, over the netting and into the stands. That one got back to 90. Tyson was selected as what they do here, the weenie of the game. Folks here hoping for hot dogs with a strikeout. Tyson looking to get on for the second time as he takes the strike on the outer half, 2-2. Again, Tyson singled in the first, was picked off shortly afterward. Out of the wind, here comes DeVoe. Tyson chops it on the ground out towards second. Sato will underhand flip it on to first. 1 away here in the third. It's always odd hearing a crowd awe and disappointment that they didn't get a strikeout and then cheer again when their team fields an out. I think that's one of the most interesting things I've heard. 4-3 put out, one away here in the third inning. Daichi Furuhata walked and then was forced out at first on the fielder's choice by Parker Burt. First pitch he sees is upstairs, ball one. Daichi getting back to regularly scheduled programming on a 2-game hit streak. Had 3 of them last night, 2 singles and a double. 1-0. Daichi swings through a changeup. Nope. Scratch that. Fastball. 91 on the radar gun. I hope that's not his changeup. 1 ball, 1 strike for Ahata. Standing in his stance in that right-hand box. 1-1. Downstairs for Ahata. Ahead in the count. Pippins were able to get some sleep last night. Not saying that guys didn't get 5 or 6 hours of sleep during the trip, but certainly not in a bed. 2-1 for Ahata, slowly on the ground to short. Simonson up with it on the run. The throw is low. Andrews stretches and picks it out of the dirt. 2 away here in the third inning. Velasquez, the last hope in the third inning for Yakima Valley. He popped up to Andrews back in the first. I know that I was appreciative to lay down in a bed last night. I purposefully stayed up because I knew that I wasn't going to get the best sleep from Thursday night into Friday morning. It was only a couple hours after the game ended. First pitch spiked in the dirt, 1-0, all the way to the backstop. Nobody has gone and grabbed the pearl. Now home plate umpire Scott Eckhart will direct the ball boy to do it. He was standing closer to the pearl, but make sure the ball boy doesn't fall asleep. There's 4 of them here, so hard to believe one of them missed it. 1-0. Velasquez corks it on the ground, out to second. Sato down to a knee, stabs it before it goes by. A 1-2-3 frame, 3 straight ground outs for Yakima Valley in the third. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left on the base pads. Pippins and Riverhawks, no score here in Edmonton. I just found out that the Riverhawks do a 999 challenge box at their concession stands. If you're unaware, that's 9 hot dogs and 9 alcoholic beverages in 9 innings of a baseball game. It's become more and more popular for teams to sell the items as a group, usually as a deal. But I think they're the one West Coast League team that does so. It is a full-scale box, too. Looks like ciders and maybe a beer, as well as 9 hot dogs down in that box. Oh my. How about that? Bottom of the third inning here in Edmonton. Pippins and Riverhawks, no score. Back to the top of the order for the Riverhawks. After they sent 6 to the plate in the second inning and left the bases loaded, Matt Van Slyke will hit for the second time. First pitch from Luke McGuire, strike on the outer half. Van Slyke batting .240 coming into this game. A 1. Excuse me, swing. Punches it foul off to the right. It's 0-2. Scoreboard incorrectly has it as 1-1. It is, in fact, 0-2. McGuire steps off as the baseball again left on the warning track. Ballboy continues to be asleep over there near the Pippins dugout. Somebody get him a hot dog to wake him up. 0-2, fastball. Must have missed low. It looked pretty middle from here. 1-2. I'm in my own booth tonight. Folks here at Remax Field being very accommodating. 1-2, fouled back off the top of the screen and back down onto the field of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes remains the count. Nice big spacious area too. You got a whole desk at the back of the room that is going unused right now. 1-2. Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. McGuire now crossing the 30 pitch threshold. You'd love to see him go 5. He's gone 4 and 4 2/3 in his last 2 starts. 2-2, wave, and a foul tip caught by Parker Burt. Went with the fastball. Van Slyke unable to get it cleanly. 1 away here in the third. Call that the second strikeout for Luke McGuire. Here comes Kotaro Wakui. Wakui from Niigata, Japan. Probably got 6 Japanese natives playing in this game. First pitch inside, nearly got him on the front shoulder. Wakui hailing from Southwest Oklahoma State. Came into this game batting .265. He is 0 for 1 with a strikeout as he pops one over on the left field side. Is it getting out of play? Yes, it is. Bounding on top of the cover, the advertisement banner for the picnic deck down on the left side by the bullpen. There's full-scale couches down there. I mean, it is ridiculous how nice that private area is. On the ground over towards first, Walker with a backhand. Takes it over to the bag himself. 2 up, 2 down here in the third. I'll bring up Shiryu Sato, who popped up to Furuhata to end the first inning. Sato playing second base. Came into today batting .242. First pitch, breaking ball downstairs, 1-0. Out of the windup, 1-0 pitch. Top of the zone, called a strike, 1-1. I think my favorite part, well, I shouldn't say favorite, but one of the fun parts about being up here is seeing all the Montreal Expos hats downstairs with the 1-1. It's 2 balls and a strike. Team hasn't existed since the Nationals took over as the name of the franchise in the late 90s, early 2000s. 2-1, drilled out towards right. Garcia coming on, he makes the catch, and that ends the inning. But folks here still hoping that baseball comes back to Montreal, even though we're clear on the other side of the country, it feels like, from that great city over by Toronto. Through 3 here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. No score. We go to the middle innings. Pippins hit next. T-shirt cannon firing missiles into the stands here at a very packed Remax field. Capacity of 9,200. I'd say we're 3/4 of the way there at least. I guess we'll see what the official attendance number is later tonight. Derek DeVoe threw 3 innings scoreless. He's only given up 1 hit to the Pippins. Yakima Valley has left 3 on the base paths through the first 3 frames. Taking a look at the rest of the West Coast League tonight, games just getting underway down in the States and around the other province of Canada. Nanaimo and Wenatchee just underway over on Vancouver Island. First pitch downstairs to Parker Bird. It's 1-0. Portland and Bellingham tonight. Port Angeles at Kelowna. Corvallis at Bend. Ridgefield at Marion. Springfield at Victoria. And Walla Walla at Kamloops. As Parker rips one foul over towards that picnic private area I was just talking about. Turned on 90. Would have been at least a double if it stayed fair, but it was beyond the netting. So 1-1. Pippin's trying to get back in the win column and get 2 games over 500 again. 1-1. Parker takes a big hack at the top of the zone. 1-2. Yakima Valley sitting 2 games back of first place. Ridgefield coming into today at 9-4. 1-2. Parker breaking ball. Called strike 3. Catcher doesn't disagree. Trying to stay on the good graces of the home plate umpire, Scott Eckhart. Here's Jay O'Neill, who drew a walk and was stranded at third back in the second. Ridgefield's 9-4 record would be the best in the West Coast League if Wenatchee hadn't had a game rained out here against the Riverhawks. So the Apple Sox actually a half game better as the first pitch is fouled back by Jay O'Neill. They're 9-3. Again, their game up in Nanaimo just underway. No score there. And as I say that, bottom of the second inning, it's 1-0 Apple Sox. Just got the live update. 0-1 inside, 1-1 strike to Jay. So I guess that's what I forgot to do. I forgot to hit refresh. So some scores already as the game's underway throughout the West Coast League. Kelowna leading 3-0 over Port Angeles in the top of the second. 1-1 breaking ball. Jay doesn't like what he sees, but it's called a strike. 1-2. Corvallis leading at Bend 2-1 in the top of the second. Springfield leading at Victoria 1-0 in the top of the second. Everybody else scoreless. 1-2. O'Neill swings through a breaking ball. It is dropped. They throw on down to first to complete the play. 4 strikeouts for DeVoe. He's settling in after allowing a couple of opening innings with lots of Pippins base runners. There's Luis Garcia. He was one of the 4 strikeouts earlier on in this contest. Out of the full windup, DeVoe sends one in, and Luis takes it on a hard line drive out towards left field. Rolling all the way to the warning track, Luis is going to try for second. He's digging hard. The ball beats him there, but the tag is applied way late. And Luis Garcia with a hustle double with 2 away. Wonder how hard that was hit. Came in hot, left just as hot. And now here's Garen Guler, who drew a walk back in the second frame. Garen swinging a 2-tone stick. Tan barrel, black handle. First pitch, fastball outside. 1-0. Stats page is being slow here. Now they add the Garcia double. 1 ball, no strikes. Pitch in, and Garen sends it straight back. 1-1. Couple of changeups in this at bat. Pippins trying to break through. They had 3 runs in the first inning last night and then did not score again until the 5th. As now the heel of the shoe going to be fixed by DeVoe. Felt something uncomfortable, picks it out. Now he's ready to go. MJ Willis must be the one controlling the timer out there at third base. He's got his hand on his hip. He was the one resetting the clock, it looked like. 1-1. Guerin takes a fastball, but it's outside. 2 balls and a strike. The ball gets past the pitcher, DeVoe, and it out to shortstop, but Simonton there. Luis stays put. That is one thing that I was surprised this field did not have, was a physical pitch clock. Of course, it was last used for affiliated baseball before the pitch clock was a thing. But you'd think with the available space here, there'd be a couple of those physical timers. 2-1. Breaking ball this time, cut on and missed. It's 2-2. You could easily put one in foul territory down the lines and a couple behind the dish like you see at every affiliated ballpark now. I believe there's only a couple of stadiums in the West Coast League that actually have pitch clocks. Obviously, Goss Stadium down in Corvallis, and then Whitman College, which is Walla Walla. 2-2 pitch. Guerin watches upstairs. 91 on the radar gun. Count runs full. Luis at second base with 2 away. Pippins trying to keep the inning alive. DeVoe at 55 pitches. Here comes the payoff. Guerin takes upstairs, ball 4. Takes a look back out to the mound as another 91-mile-an-hour heater was high and tight. So Guler has walked twice. He's at first. Garcia is at second. Here's Jackson Walker. Would love to see him break out of whatever funk he's in and pick up his 3rd hit of the year right here. First pitch taking. It's a strike on the outer half, 0-1. Jackson, one of the best hitters in the NWAC conference this last year, which is a wood bat spring baseball for the JUCOs and the PNW. Pitch downstairs, 1-1. So very familiar with swinging the wooden stick. It was one of 8 Yakima Valley Yaks to be given postseason honors by the NWAC. 1-1. Wave and a miss in front of a changeup. 1-2. Walker, first team ABCA Rawlings All-American, NWAC Stick of the Year. First team All NWAC, first team All East Region. 1-2. He's down on strikes. He went chasing a breaking ball down and away. DeVoe strikes out the side, and he strands a couple of Pippins base runners in the process. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left on base. Bottom of the 4th is next. Edmonton and Yakima Valley still scoreless here north of the border. Bottom of the fourth inning here in Edmonton. Game moving right along. Hour into the contest. Started at 7:10. It is currently 8:10 here in the Mountain Time Zone. For those of you listening back in Yakima, that is 7:10. For those of you listening back in my house in Nebraska, that would be 9:10. Easy math. Add one, subtract one. Luke McGuire at 40 pitches, 41. Now here's 42 as a bunt attempt is pushed foul into the backstop netting by Easton Andrews. Not exactly the build that you would think would be a bunter, just trying to catch the Pippins infield off guard. Only one man on the left side of the infield, Daichi Furuhata kind of patrolling the middle. Second pitch rather, downstairs, 1-1. The infield shift has Hubka standing basically behind the second base bag. Velasquez in shallow right field. On the ground, out towards Hubka right behind the bag. Pippins played it perfectly. They throw on to first, and the shift pays off. Jason Green popped up to the shortstop. Cole Hubka back in the second inning. Green, another lefty for the southpaw to face. Pippins are going to stay in that same shift. Same defensive alignment as I just talked about. Wave and a miss on a breaking ball by Jason Green. And so Walker guarding the line. We've got Velasquez playing on the cut of the natural grass and the turf. Hubka behind the bag. Wave and a miss. Another breaking ball from Luke McGuire. 0-2. See what Luke has dialed up here. 0-2 pitch. Another swing and a miss. The ball dropped by Parker. He throws down to first. 3 straight breaking balls. 2 away here in the fourth. Connor Kavnar will hit now. Kavnar batting .235 coming into this game. 4 hits, 17 at bats. He lined out to Miller and left last time up as he fouls the first pitch he sees off the end of the bat straight to the backstop. 0-1. Kavnar from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, attends Northern Oklahoma Community College. 0-1 in there. 0-2 on the other half. I still am just baffled at the amount of guys that come from all over the place to play here in Edmonton. Very enticing environment, obviously, with the large crowd. It's just a long travel. 0-2. McGuire got him swinging. Parker Burt throws down to first to complete the strikeout. Luke McGuire sets down the Riverhawks in order for the third time tonight. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left on. We go to the fifth frame here at Remax Field, scoreless. Fifth inning about to get started here at Remax Field. Pippins and Riverhawks. Cole Hubka, Tyson Miller, Daichi Furuhata due up here in the fifth. 9-1-2. A lot of speed there. Best opportunity for Yakima Valley to break this scoreless tie. After a combined 24 runs last night on 21 hits, we are scoreless as the first pitch is a strike to Hubka on only 5 hits tonight. 3 for Edmonton, 2 for Yakima Valley. That was his 61st pitch of the night. Relatively low stress. He's left 5 on, though, as the second pitch drilled Hubka into the glove of Simonson out at short, drifting back into the grass. Just couldn't quite muscle that one over the infield. Back to the top of the order. Time for Tyson Miller. Miller 1 for 2, a single and a ground out. See if he can find his way on. First pitch hit him. Yeah, he found his way on, of course. Edmonton's had some bad luck picking their weenie of the game. Now, Daichi did strike out last night, but the 3 at-bats before that, he had 3 hits. Shouldn't leave it up to chance. Just look at stats. They tell you a little bit better what a guy's going to do, especially over a longer season like baseball. Daichi Furuhata ready to hit here for the 3rd time. A walk and a ground out. Still looking for his first hit of the night to make it a 3-game hit streak. First pitch he takes is a strike on the outer half. 0-1. Furuhata, like I just mentioned, 3 hits last night. He had 2 of them in Ridgefield on Thursday night. 0-1, wave and a miss at a breaking ball, top of the zone. So Daichi going to have to protect at the plate now, behind 0-2. DeVoe's been very good when guys have gotten on against him. 0-2 pitch on the ground over to first. Pass the bag. It's a fair ball. It's going to roll all the way to the Pippins bullpen. Daichi for second. Miller around third. He's being sent by Coach Krusty. Here comes Tyson. Daichi going to motor into third without a throw. Furuhata picks up his first hit of the day, and the Pippins have the 1-0 lead. RBI triple for Daichi Furuhata. Perfectly placed ball right down the line. And then it dinked around in the Pippins bullpen, which is currently vacant with how well Luke McGuire's been pitching. Here's Nick Velasquez, who went to right field 3 times last night. He's going to send it out to center field. This should be deep enough to score. Daichi backing up middle, miss, makes the catch. He won't even try to throw it in. Sacrifice fly for Nick Velasquez. The Pippins lead it 2-0. The top of the order doing good things for Yakima Valley. Now into the middle, Parker Burt. Parker takes the catcher's gear off. That's what's taking him a second to get up to the plate. Catchers usually leave their gear on if they're in the on-deck circle with potentially 2 outs. So he gets an extra grace period stepping up. Now here's the first pitch on the way to him. Breaking ball, top of the zone, strike 1. So Parker hitting with the bases empty, but the Pippins doing good work with 2 runs home. Hit by pitch, triple, sac fly. 0-1. Parker takes a breaking ball again. This time it's high and tight to make it 1-1. With the way this game's been going, you'd think those 2 runs are huge right now. Outside, 2 balls, 1 strike. for Parker with a home run yesterday. That was his second. Pippins now with 10 as a team. 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball down and in this time. 3-1. We've seen a lot more of the off-speed and breaking balls from DeVos versus the 91 to 92 mile an hour fastball that he featured in his first 2 or 3 innings. 3-1. Everybody takes a breather. Now here's the windup from DeVos. Breaking ball down to a knee goes Parker Burt as he hacks through it. Count runs full. There's 2 away. Payoff pitch from DeVos. Breaking ball. Parker got a piece of it off the cap of the bat. Edmonton starter now into the 70s in his pitch count. Nobody down in the bullpen yet. Last night, Halverson went 87 pitches in his win. That was over 5 innings. Another 3-2 out of the windup from DeVos. Downstairs, it bounces in the left-hand batter's box. Parker Burt draws a walk. Some words being said on the mound by DeVos as Parker flipped the bat over towards the dugout. He's done that multiple times. And now DeVos getting into it with Scott Eckhart. His first baseman, Andrews, is going to back him back towards the plate. Coach Krusty wants Eckhart to kick him out of the game. And now Coach Krusty getting into it with Eckhart. Umpires losing control a little bit here as now the Riverhawks dugout has been warned. And the Pippins dugout has been warned. Coach Krusty now talking with Scott Eckhart just in front of the batter's apron. There was some words from DeVos towards Parker Burt that started all this. Parker has a tendency to aggressively flip the bat over towards the dugout when he draws a walk. It's a little silly, but it's usually never targeted toward the pitcher, as now DeVos takes a walk behind the mound and is talking with MJ Willis, the third base umpire. Andrew's going to go talk with Parker Burt, who mountains over him height-wise over there at first. Coach Krusty has an answer he's satisfied with, and now Jake Lanferman having a talk in the batter's box with the home plate umpire, Scott Eckhart. Now they walk up the line on third base. Again, Parker, I know who he is. He doesn't usually, if ever, flip that bat because of something the pitcher did. He usually is just doing it because that's what he does. That's the kind of guy Parker is. He's quirky. He's never had any issues with pitchers taking offense to it until just now. So both dugouts have been officially warned here in the 5th inning. We get back to baseball. Here is Jay O'Neill. First pitch down and in across the shoot tops. 86 mile an hour changeup for ball 1. Again, is it silly that Parker spikes the bat towards the dugout? Yes, but is it ever targeted at the pitcher? I don't ever think so. They throw over to first, Burt back in standing. Pippins have not had an ejection yet this year. To my knowledge, the Riverhawks have not yet had one either. 1-1. This is a high, hard fly ball out to right field. Wakui drifting into the shadows. He's backing up onto the track, and he makes the catch. Jay put it too far up into the atmosphere to get anything done. The pitcher DeVos walks right by the catcher Burt as he rounds third. No words said. We're halfway home here in Remax Field. Pippins score 2 as they take the lead going to the bottom of the 5th north of the border. Bottom of the fifth inning here in Edmonton. Let's get some scores from around the West Coast League. Bottom of the third inning in Nanaimo. Wenatchee leads it 2-0 over the Night Owls. Top of the fifth in Bellingham. No score between the Pickles and the Bells. Bottom of the third inning down in Kelowna. 4-0. The Falcons lead the Port Angeles Lefties. Bottom of the third in Bend. Corvallis leads it 3-1 down there at Vince Guinness Stadium. First pitch of the inning here to Mitchell Middlemiss, called a strike. Luke McGuire in his fifth inning of work. Ridgefield down in Salem tonight taking on the Marion Berries. 2-0 Berries in the bottom of the third. 0-1 pitch. Chopped foul over on the third base side. 0-2. In Victoria, Springfield and the Harbor Cats tied at 1 in the bottom of the third inning. And over in Kamloops, no score between Walla Walla and the North Paws. Here it's 2-0 Yakima Valley. Pippins got 2 runs on 1 hit and left Parker Burt on the base pads there in the fifth inning. Pitch from McGuire upstairs, 1-2. It was an interesting walk drawn by Burt because he spiked his bat like he normally does. The 1-2 called strike 3 on the outer half of the plate. Middlemiss down on strikes. 3 straight retired via the K dating back to the last inning for McGuire. Burt, in his usual quirky self, tossed the bat towards the Pippins dugout. The pitcher DeVos took offense to it, started barking some words at him. And then as the umpires tried to separate things, DeVos started barking words at home plate umpire Scott Eckhart. First pitch here to Cale Clark, inside ball 1. After all of it, including discussions with Scott Eckhart with both coaches, both teams have been officially warned. So any other funny business that happens the rest of the night will likely see an ejection. Next pitch on the ground out towards second. Velasquez circles around it, throws on the run. The throw pulls Walker off the bag. He throws a tag down, but first base umpire Brandon Strokey says that Walker missed. One out, one man aboard. Cale Clark reaches on the infield single. Velasquez knew he had to get it out quickly, and now the umpires are going to get together to see if somebody had a better angle on if that tag was thrown on the back of Clark. They get together, they say no tag. Obviously no video review here in the West Coast League, so that was the only way you possibly could have had this get overturned. Shadows creeping in from the right field wall, the southwest-oriented ballpark. Most of the grandstand on the first base side in shadow, and then there's a nice dividing line over on the third base side where everybody's in sunshine still. 1 on, 1 out. First pitch downstairs, ball 1 to Devin Simonton. He grounded out back in the second inning. Would love to see a double play. Pippins have turned 12 so far this year. 1-0, not a double play. Instead of fly ball routine out to center field, O'Neill takes the can of corn and puts it away. 2 down, top of the order now for the Riverhawks. Matt Van Slyke will hit for the third time. Van Slyke from Whitby, Ontario, attends the University of British Columbia. He's cross-Canadian, cross-continental Canadian in his experience. First pitch is strike right there at the top of the zone. Ontario, of course, over by the eastern side of the country. Toronto, the most well-known city there. Throw on to first. Back in plenty of time. It's Cale Clark. Pippins here in Canada for the first and only time this year. They will play one more Canadian team, though. 0-1, misses down and in, 1 ball and 1 strike. Later on this year, the Pippins, I should say later on this month, of course it's this year. 1-1 upstairs, 2 balls, 1 strike. Later on this month, in fact, The last 3 games of the first half for Yakima Valley will be against the Kelowna Falcons, June 26th, 27th, and 28th. Runner takes off. The 2-1 is sent out towards left field. It's dying quickly. Miller dives. He can't make the catch. Rounding third, but staying there will be the runner, Cale Clark. Single for Matt Van Slyke. There's runners at the corners and 2 away for the Riverhawks. Another one off the cap of the bat that found green grass, and now a dangerous hitter here in Kotaro Wakui. Wakui had 5 RBI last night. Pippins bullpen just has a couple of guys standing around throwing some plyos. Riverhawks bullpen doesn't have anybody throwing either. But a few guys standing down there waiting for the call. First pitch from McGuire here to Wakui. Called a strike at the top of the zone. 0-1. Luke was able to get out of a bases loaded jam back in the second inning. Runner at first takes off. The pitch is off the end of the bat out towards shallow left field again. Tyson coming on. He has the speed. He has the ball. And the side is retired. 5 in the books here in Edmonton. The Pippins lead it 2-0 after no runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. 6th inning is next. 2-0 Pips here at Remax Field. Top of the 6th inning here at Remax Field, Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Luis Garcia leads it off, then Garen Guler, Jackson Walker. Pippins trying to build on a 2-0 lead that they picked up in the 5th. They scored 2 runs on 1 hit and left 1 man on base. Glad you're with us here on your Saturday night. 3rd Saturday of the season. We move right along here in game number 14 of the short 54-game West Coast League season. First pitch, a strike on a breaking ball to Luis Garcia. Still Derek DeVos out there. Has thrown now 77 pitches. 0-1. Garcia on the ground hard. Pass. Van Slyke diving at third. Luis Garcia. A double, now a single. He is 2 for 3. Leadoff man aboard again for Yakima Valley. Garen Guler will hit next. Good to see Luis finally get a couple of hits. He had some solid contact last night, but they were all caught out in right field because the prevailing wind blows in. Let's see if Garen can find a hit. He's been on base twice with a pair of walks. First pitch to Guler, a fastball high and away, but called a strike. 0-1. Now some left-handed action starting up in the bullpen for the Riverhawks. Oh, 1. There's a strike right over the heart of the plate to make it 0-2. Garcia on at first with the leadoff single here in the 6th. A throw over to first, no tag applied. Count remains 0-2. The lefty warming up is Chris Massey. He's from Drury University. Garcia with a 2-step lead over at first. DeVos set at the belt. The 0-2 to Guerin. Breaking ball down and away. Good take by Guler. 2 runs on 4 hits for Yakima Valley. No runs on 5 hits for the Riverhawks. Jackson Walker waits on deck. He is 0 for 2 today. 1-2. Guerin watches a fastball down and away. 2-2. Guler's been patient. Obviously drawing 2 walks. You know he wants to find a hit, especially after not playing the last couple of days. 2-2, runner takes off. The pitch is fouled into the screen over by Walker in the on-deck circle. We'll do it again. J-Dub sends it back over to the Riverhawks dugout. Count is still 2-2 with Luis Garcia over at first. Here comes the pitch. High and tight, buzzing the tower of Guerin Guler. He takes a look out at the mound. Count now full. Nobody out. Pippins trying to build on a 2-0 lead. Not a cloud in the sky as the sun sets off to the west. The payoff pitch is upstairs, ball 4. Guerin Guler has drawn 3 walks. Very team-friendly approach for Guerin, and it's paid off so far. He advances Garcia onto second. Even though Guerin's been stranded all 3 times, every time a runner is on, there's more and more pressure being put on opposing pitching. And now, Coach Crustangel going to call an offensive timeout with the 2 base runners, his hitter Jackson Walker, and the next man, Cole Hubka. Coach Crusty loves these offensive visits in close games with a scoring opportunity and nobody out. More so just to review situations so he doesn't have to do a complex number of signs, but it's a great opportunity to get everybody on the same page. We've seen them work over time as well. Umpiring crew makes the note of the offensive visit by the Pips. And now Walker digs in. You wonder, maybe does Walker try to bunt here? 0 for 2, batting below 100 now. He does square. Runners took off. Garcia's going to dive back into second safely. That was obviously a squeeze play. The runners were going. They say that Walker did square around a bunt, so it's 0-1. Home plate umpire Scott Eckhard saying that Walker didn't get the bunt back in time. Corners pinched. Nobody out here in the 6th inning. Jackson shows bunt again. He fouls it back to the screen. 0-2. Well, bunting is likely off now. Doubt that you're going to try to bunt with 2 strikes here, especially for a guy that's struggling at the plate. Garcia at second, Guler at first, nobody away. DeVos takes a look, and then he steps back towards second, no pitch. Massey still warming up for the Riverhawks. Pips would love to get into that bullpen. That's where they got all their runs last night. 0-2. Walker hit, and that on the hit by pitch ended up getting a big piece of the catcher Green. Breaking ball came inside and got J-Dub, so he is aboard. And now Green down on a knee, feeling it a little bit as well. This is great for Yakima Valley. Bases loaded, nobody out. And it looks like this is going to be the end of the line for Derek DeVoe. Signal has been made by Jake Lamferman. And here comes Massey out of the bullpen. We'll get you information on the new pitcher when we come back. Pippins threatening here in the sixth. Bases loaded, nobody out. Substitution on the mound. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Remax Field here in Edmonton, Alberta. Chris Massey is the new pitcher, left-hander, standing short in stature out there on the hill for the Riverhawks. 5'9", 170, attending Drury University. He will come in to face Cole Hubka first, then the top of the Pippins order. First pitch he throws is down and in for ball one. Derek DeVos throws 88 pitches, goes 5+ innings. All 3 men on base are his responsibility, giving up 4 hits, 6 walks, and 5 strikeouts so far. Of course, 2 runs already in the books, 3 more potentially waiting for him on the pads. Wave and a foul back to the screen by Cole Hubka. Probably chased a pitch upstairs. Got wood on it, though. It's 1-1. Massey, they announced, was a native of Edmonton, Alberta. Of course, he claims his hometown is Springfield, Missouri. High and away. 2 balls, 1 strike. Massey making his debut for the Edmonton Riverhawks this year. 2 balls, 1 strike, bags full of pips. Hubka takes one in the zone, 2-2, inner half. Pippins hitting .294 on the season with runners in scoring position. Would love to see another hit with 2 in that position here, nobody out. Hubka takes down and in, ball 3. Of course, if you're Cole Hubka, your first at-bat as a Pippin was a bases-loaded walk that pushed home a run. He could do that here as well. There's nobody out. A Pippin at every base. Garcia leads the way at third. Payoff pitch on the way. Hubka sends it into center field, down for a base hit. Garcia scores easily. Here comes Garen Guler hard around third. He will score as the ball is cut off by Andrews at first. 2 RBI single for Cole Hubka. Pippins lead it 4-0 here in the 6th. Jackson Walker moves up to second. Cole Hubka, already 3 RBI in his young Pippins career. That is his 3rd hit as well. Top of the order, Tyson Miller showing bunt before the pitch is even thrown. He pulls back. It is out of the zone, 1-0. Runners in scoring position, batting average comes through for Yakima Valley. They've got another one out there, Jackson Walker at second. Shows bunt again, 1-0, up the third base line, down in fair territory. Van Slyke charging hard. The throw on to first is not in time. It's an infield single for Tyson Miller. Perfectly executed, and the Pippins have reloaded the bases with nobody out. Tyson with 2 hits today. Now here's Daichi Furuhata. Massey inherits a mess and has contributed 2 of the 3 inherited runners. Now a ground ball back up the middle. Infield is playing in. They flip to second for 1. They relay on to first. That's a double play. But Yakima Valley scores another run. All 5 go to Derek DeVos as Jackson Walker crosses the plate on the double play. Grounded into by Daichi Furuhata. Score at 4-6-3. There's the first 2 outs of the frame. Man at third is Cole Hubka, who had the 2 RBI single to give the Pips some insurance. 5-0 Yakima Valley. First pitch to Nick Velasquez, misses outside, ball 1. Massey sitting in the low to mid 80s with his stuff. Pippins have taken advantage of a bases loaded, nobody out situation and put 3 on the board. Now the 1-0 downstairs, 2-0. That's a tough situation to inherit as a pitcher, but all 3 inherited runs come across to score. He's got 1 of his own over at third. That's Cole Hubka. 2-0 Velasquez out to deep center field, middle miss, drifting back into the shadows, puts it away as he catches it over the shoulder to retire this side. But that's after Yakima Valley gets 3 runs on only 3 hits. There were no errors. There was 1 man left on base. 5-0 Yakima Valley going to the bottom of the 6th here in Edmonton. Come right back. You're listening to Pippins Baseball. Welcome back to Remax Field. It's the bottom of the 6th inning. Pippins lead it 5-0. They've scored in back-to-back frames, the 5th and the 6th. Ironically, that's when they got some of their runs last night. They scored 2 in the 5th and 2 in the 6th against the Riverhawks. That at the time made it a 13-7 ball game. 3, 4, and 5 in the Edmonton order. Luke McGuire still out there for the Pippins. Out of the windup. The first pitch he throws after a little bit of a break is inside, ball 1. Went with a breaking ball. 64 pitches now for Luke. Trying to get through 6. There's a strike right at the bottom of the zone. 1-1. Good to see McGuire get through 5 for the first time, now trying to get through 6. Parker catches one down and away to make it 2-1. He tried framing it to bring it back. McGuire, glove in the face, into the windup on the third base side of the rubber. Sends a changeup outside, 3-1. Might take him a batter to readjust. He didn't go down to the bullpen to throw during that offensive outburst. 3-1, fouled off of the foot of Shiryu Sato. Runs the count full. McGuire trying to work quickly here and get back into the dugout. Payoff pitch. Half swing, called strike 3 on the outer half by Scott Eckhart. McGuire punches out its 6th Riverhawk. 1 away here in the 6th inning. Here's Easton Andrews. They just said it on the PA, so I have permission to use it. They call him Big Texas. Texas native, 5'11", 230, playing first base tonight. Pitch down and in from McGuire, 1-0. Attends the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. So another long trip to get out here. 1-0, fouled at the plate, back to the protective netting, 1-1. Andrews appears to be obviously the clear-cut leader, both offensively and in the clubhouse. He moves so freely. Everything looks fluid for him. 1-1, strike at the top of the zone, 1-2. So despite his stature, he just seems like a guy that's oozing confidence. Takes some skips when he digs into the batter's box. He's dancing around at first. 1-2, cut on and missed. Back-to-back strikeouts for Luke McGuire. That's 7 now, down on strikes. The off-speed working well for Luke. Now he's an out away from getting through 6 frames. Pippins starters have overall looked good this week. Jake Cumming went 5 innings against Ridgefield. Bodie Ramsey went 7, only allowing 1 run. And now Luke McGuire here. First pitch, fly ball out to center field. O'Neill racing back. He will stop in front of the track and make the catch. And the inning is over. Luke McGuire gets through 6 frames. He retires the side in order for the 4th time tonight. No runs, hits, or errors, none left on. Late innings are next. Pippins lead at 5-0 here in Edmonton. Congratulations, Juliet. Chris Massey still out on the mound for the Edmonton Riverhawks as the Yakima Valley Pippins lead it 5-0 as we enter the top of the 7th inning already. Hard to believe after last night's game, the first inning took nearly 50 minutes to complete. And so we're flying through this one right now. Hopefully that continues. Pippins and Riverhawks play 1:05 p.m. first pitch local time tomorrow, as it'll be the Pippins getaway day. Have to catch a flight in the evening. get an hour back getting into the Pacific time zone, and then make the trip home after crossing the border. First pitch to Parker Burt here in the 7th as a breaking ball called a strike. 12 pitches for Massey in that first inning of work, but giving up all 3 runners he inherited, stranding his own, Cole Hubka, who came through with a 2 RBI single. Ground ball foul over at third. Parker Burt behind in the count 0-2. Massey trying to settle things back down for the Riverhawks as we're in the late innings here in Edmonton. Long pause out of the windup. Here comes Massey with the 0-2. Parker takes Hine away. That is ball 1. Relatively short trip if you think about it for Yakima Valley up here. It was an early morning, and then you get into town at about 2:30, 2:45 local time. 1-2. Parker went fishing downstairs at a changeup. He's down on strikes, 1 away. And so you get here at about 3. You grab a little bit of food. You head to the ballpark at about 4:30. You take BP at 5:15, 5:30. You play the game, and then you go to bed. You had this morning to kind of explore, grab some food, do what you need to do. And then we left the hotel at 4:30 to get back over here to the field. Down and away, first pitch to Jay O'Neill, ball 1. And then it's back to the hotel tonight, but a relatively quick turnaround. BP for the Pippins will probably start as this pitch is fouled or grounded softly. It started in foul territory, goes fair. The pitcher, Massey, fields it in front of the bump. That thing had some wicked spin. O'Neill out, 1-3 on the putout. Almost like a swinging bunt. Two away. Pippins BP will probably start at around 11:30 tomorrow morning. Swinging a foul ball back into the screen by Luis Garcia, 0-1. He is 2 for 3 today. But if you want to go that route, body clock for the Pippins that's 10:30. So definitely an early morning. 0-1, high and away, 1-1. The nice part is it's a turf infield, and so if we were at home for a 1 o'clock start like this, it would be a little bit earlier BP. We've seen that at the Orchard, 9:30 BP. 1-1, half swing. Garcia went around. It's 1-2. So a little bit of a quick turnaround. Pippins will head out of the ballpark, hopefully sooner than later tomorrow with a win. And then get on the plane back to Vancouver. 1-2, Garcia back where it came from, off the foot of the pitcher Massey and into center field. Luis Garcia has a 3-hit day. 2 singles and a double for Luis. That was as back up the box as you can get it. A couple of bodies standing around in the Pippins bullpen. We'll see if McGuire is asked to come back out for the 7th inning. We've got the stretch coming up in and out. Garen Guler, 3 walks today. First pitch taking upstairs. 1 ball, no strikes. Massey allows his 3rd hit so far on his outing. Well down and away, 2-0. So far, though, hasn't affected the run total. He's not given up a run of his own. Gave up 3 inherited runners in the 6th to push DeVoe's line to 5. Wave and a miss. Guler handcuffed on an inside breaking ball, 2-1. Pippins leading it 5-0 here in the top of the 7th. Garen sends a mile-high pop-up on the right side. Andrews going towards the Pippins dugout. He's not going to have room. It lands in the front row of the boxes beyond the netting. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Luis Garcia over at first base after his third hit today. Pippins trying to add on. The 2-2 is all the way to the backstop. It bounces aggressively to the catcher Green, but not before Luis Garcia advances on the very wild pitch. So a payoff pitch here upcoming to Garen Guler. Garcia now at second base. Massey set at the belt, middle of the rubber. Here it comes. It is downstairs, ball 4, as it rolls in front of the apron. Garen Guler, 4 walks tonight. On base percentage certainly going up for the man committed to play at Portland next year. Now his Yakima Valley Yak teammate, Jackson Walker, looking for his first hit of the night. He's grounded into a fielder's choice, stolen a bag, and was hit by a pitch and scored. Swing and a miss. Big aggressive hack from J-Dub. 0-1. Pippins have 5 runs on 7 hits right now here in the top of the 7th. Most recently off the bat of Luis Garcia, who stands at second base. 0-1. Downstairs, 1-1. Change up that time from Massey. Good to see the Pippins put up a few runs here in the blue uniform. Seems like whenever we've won the Blues on the road, it hasn't been favorable. 1-1. Walker on the ground over to third, taking it to the bag himself, Van Slyke, to force out Luis Garcia. And it's stretch time here at Remax Field. The Pippins do not score. There was 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left on the base pads. Bottom of the 7th is next. Enjoy Take Me Out to the Ball Game. I'll be right back. Bottom of the 7th inning, Yakima Valley leads it 5-0. Luke McGuire is back out on the hill for his 7th inning of work. He'll be facing 6, 7, and 8 in the Edmonton order, starting with Connor Kavnar, the designated hitter. McGuire at 74 pitches. Pippins going to play him straight up. McGuire, after not working past 4 2/3 in his previous 2 starts, is in the 7th inning, leading 5-0. First pitch is through the 5-6 on into left field for a base hit. Kavnar picks up the first hit since the 5th inning for the Riverhawks. McGuire has left 5 Riverhawks on the base pads. He'll have to leave at least a 6th here if he's going to maintain this 5-0 lead. Mitchell Middlemiss, the center fielder, single and a strikeout today. He takes down and in, ball 1. McGuire, 7 strikeouts tonight. That's good to see from him. 1-0 fouled into the Riverhawks dugout on the third base side. Last time out, he struck out 4 in a eventual loss to the Marion Berries. 1-1, sent out towards right center field. This might be trouble. Luis ranging over, he makes the catch. Halfway between first and second, Kavnar, he retreats back to first. Garcia took a weird angle to get there, but the important part is he got there. 1 away, man at first. In McGuire's first appearance, he struck out 5. That was 4 2/3 inning he worked. He went 91 pitches. Second time out, he only threw 78 pitches, getting the loss. On the ground over to first, this might be 2. Jackson goes to second for 1. They shift across the bag, that's all they'll get. Hubka had to go from the inside to the outside of the second base bag. By the time he was about to transfer, he just decided to put it in his pocket. So 3-6 the put out over at second base. Cale Clark reaches on a fielder's choice. Devin Simonton, the last battle here in the 7th inning for McGuire. Six hits now for the Riverhawks as they have right-handed action up and moving in their bullpen. First pitch, a strike on the outer half. Luke McGuire gets ahead early. So already a season high in strikeouts for McGuire. Came into the game with 9. Has 7 right now. 0-1 upstairs. Parker back picks to first. Diving in safely is the new runner over there, Cale Clark. Great start for McGuire, regardless of if he finishes this inning or not. He'd love to finish the inning, though. He's going to get to. O'Neill coming in, fighting the shadows, puts the glove up, makes the catch on a shallow fly ball to center field. Luke McGuire on 81 pitches gets through 7 innings, throwing a shutout. 7 strikeouts for the lefty, and the Pippins will come up to bat in the top of the 8th when we come back to Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Welcome back to Edmonton. New pitcher on the hill for the Riverhawks here in the 8th inning. Ryugo Sakamoto comes in to make his second appearance. 6.75 ERA on the year, an inning and a third he has worked. His one game of action came clear back during the opening weekend. He went an inning and a third against the Wenatchee Apple Sox on May 30th. Has not pitched since. Comes in here in a 5-0 game, facing 9-1-2 for Yakima Valley. First pitch inside to Cole Hubka. Ball 1. 86 on the radar gun for Sakamoto. Hubka singled and drove in 2 back in the 6th inning. That was his last time up at the plate. 1-0. Another fastball. This is down and in at 88. So it looks to be mid to upper 80s for Sakamoto. Massey's final line. The lefty went 2 innings, giving up 3 hits, no runs, a walk, and a strikeout on 30 pitches. Deep breath, 2-0 pitch. Bounces in. 3 balls, no strikes. Cole Hubka would love to take a leadoff walk. Pippins have had the leadoff man in the inning on 5 times. Top of the 8th, trying to make it 6. 3-0. Taking all the way, Hubka sees a strike. Sakamoto, a sophomore, 5'7", 175. Kakushikan University. That's right. 3-1, ball 4. That's right. I did my homework on how to say that. Kakushikan. That's about all I know about the university, but I can try to say it. Leadoff walk, Cole Hupka. Tyson Miller digs in for the 5th time today. Had an infield bunt single the last time up. He drops a bunt down. This is in fair territory. The play is going to be to second, and not in time as Hubka, who had to freeze to make sure that the popped bunt wasn't caught, dives in safely. Back-to-back plate appearances for Tyson Miller with a bunt single on the third base side. Van Slyke had it in his glove, dropped it. And now Coach Crustangel going to take another one of those offensive meetings with 2 on and nobody out. The last time this happened, the Pippins got 3 runs on 3 hits. That was the 6th inning. Pressure put on to Sakamoto immediately. A walk and a bunt single. Miller 3 for 4 today. He's been great. Luis Garcia 3 for 4. Garen Guler's drawn 4 walks. Hubka is 1 for 3 with 2 RBI and a walk. Multiple Pippins still without a hit, but by my bookkeeping, there's only been one guy that hasn't been on the base pads at least once tonight, and that's Nick Velasquez. But he had a sacrifice fly, which gives him an RBI. Down and in, first pitch to Daichi Furuhata after the offensive meeting by the Pippins. Sakamoto has been up to 89 on his velocity, so slowly ramping up as he gets comfortable in this game. Line drive off the bat of Daichi down into left field. Rounding hard at third is Hubka. He will score easily. Tyson Miller stops at third. Daichi motors into second. Furuhata, a triple back in the 5th. Now an RBI double here in the 8th. The Pippins push the lead to 6. Six nothing. Yakima Valley. Hubka scored. Miller in at third. Now the infield will play in. Nick Velasquez has an RBI tonight. He takes a first pitch strike at the top of the zone. The Riverhawks scoreboard says 7-0 Yakima Valley. Now they change it right as I say it. I just had to say something. Figured they'd maybe give us a bonus run. I don't know. 0-1, Nick takes a ball dancing outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Infield pulled in for the Riverhawks. Pippin's trying to continue to pour it on. 6 runs, 9 hits for Yakima Valley as another pitch misses outside to Velasquez. It's 2-1. Pippin's bullpen has Eric Anthony walking around. Two balls, one strike. Sakamoto set at the belt. Velasquez pops it up out of play over on the left side. This falls in the front row and then bounces off the concrete. 2-2, right-handed action up in the Riverhawks bullpen. Sakamoto struggling in this relief outing. Appears to be Riley Starko, who has played in 2 games, loosening in the pen for the Hawks. Miller's at third, Furahada's at second. 2-2 pitch. Velasquez down, swinging. A changeup that died inside. Velasquez went searching for it. Only the first out here in the 8th inning. You got 2 men in scoring position for Parker Burt. Chance for Parker to break into the RBI column here. He's been on twice. He's struck out twice. Fielder's choice and walk. First pitch lays off a breaking ball, outer half, called a strike. Riverhawks running out of outs offensively. They'll have the top of the order due up in the 8th. Pippins hopefully going to have a couple more runs on the board by then. 0-1. This is out to straightaway center field. Pretty deep. Tagging at third, Tyson Miller on the catch by Middle Miss. He will score. Daichi stays put as the throw goes into third. Yakima Valley leads it 7-0 now here in the 8th. Sac fly for Parker Burt. And now Jay O'Neill, who does not have a hit yet tonight, but walked back in the 2nd. Large contingents of Riverhawk fans watching their team down 7-0 here. First pitch to Jay O'Neill, down and in for ball 1. Josh Mawhinney, the pitcher yesterday, has gotten in on the staring contest cam. He's down today, obviously, after the start yesterday. He's winning against the camera right now, out on the scoreboard. Next pitch, inside, 2 balls, no strikes. Well, when you're up 7-0, you can have a little bit of fun. Poor Josh last night just couldn't find an out. Went a third of an inning. He's still going. 2-0 pitch. Jay takes a ball high and away. 3-0. Pippins made him out of 1 last night. Josh might not have had the best start, but he is certainly taking down this staring contest camera. 3-0 pitch about to be thrown to Jay O'Neill. He takes all the way. It's ball 4. Wow. Josh still hasn't blinked out there on the staring contest cam. We'll see how much longer this goes, as popping out of the dugout is Jake Lanferman. He has made the signal to the bullpen, and the day is over for Sakamoto. Pippins, now with 2 on and 2 outs, will face a new arm when we come back here to Remax Field. Welcome back to Remax Field. Josh Mawhinney still hasn't blinked. We're going on 3.5 minutes now that he's been on the video board in a staring contest with the camera. New pitcher into the game for the Riverhawks is Riley Starko, 6'2", 205 out of Northern Alberta Institute of Technology. First batter he sees is Luis Garcia, and he misses away with was away, called a strike. I saw the signal and I was going into my ball call already. Oh and 1, Starko sends one in, and it's sent back where it came from into center field for Luis Garcia, down for a single, rounding third, and coming home to score is Daichi. Luis Garcia, 4 for 5 tonight, 3 singles. Mawhinney finally blinks on the scoreboard. He lost a contact in the process. He gets a hug from the Riverhawks folks. I know what I'm clipping tonight. Luis Garcia, 3 for 4. Got his first RBI of the day. First and second, still 2 out. Here's a single down into center field for Garen Guler. Rounding third, coming home to score will be Jay O'Neill. Garen gets on for the 5th time today. His first hit is an RBI single to center field. Pippins add on again. It's 9-0. Garcia moves up to second. Here's Jackson Walker, the 9th Pippin to hit here in the 8th frame. Starko came into this game having pitched in 2 games, earning a win with a 0 ERA over 2 2/3 innings. He pulls one glove side all the way to the backstop, and both runners are going to advance for Yakima Valley on a wild pitch. Two more in scoring position for the Pippins, who have blown the lid off of this one. 9-0. There's 11 hits as well. Pippins have their 9th hitter of the inning at the plate. 1-0 skips in. Starko feeling the pressure here. 2 balls, no strikes. Starko among a couple of the players here that playing at a Canadian school that does not officially field a baseball team, so they play on the club team. Get treated with the same type of eligibility, though. 2-0 in the left-hand batter's box. 3 balls, no strikes. A walk would load the bases. West Coast League not going to punish these guys for not being at a place that has varsity baseball. Starko squats to see the sign. Now he stands up straight to come set at the belt. First base open, 3 balls, no strikes to J-Dub. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, ball 4. The Pippins have batted around here in the 8th. Back to the man who led off this inning, Cole Hubka, with a walk. Hubka, 1 for 3 today. Single strikeout, line out, walk. First pitch to him. There's a strike at the knees. 1-0. So it was DeVoe going 5+, giving up 5 runs on 4 hits. Then Massey, who came in through 2 innings without giving up a run of his own, 3 hits. Sakamoto went 2/3 of an inning in this 8th, gave up 2 hits. And all 4 runs that have scored so far are credited to him. Swing and a miss by Cole Hubka. 0-2 the count. Starco down to the final strike here in the 8th inning. Pippins have added 4. Bases loaded, the 0-2 pitch. Hubka takes down and away. Ball number 1. There have been 4 Pippins hits in this inning. They've also drawn 2 walks. The only 2 that haven't reached in this frame were Velasquez, who struck out, and Burt, who got a sacrifice fly. 1-2. Hubka off the end of the bat, down the right field line, and into the seating area. Still 1 ball, 2 strikes. It's good to see the Pippins bats come to life here on a Saturday night. Count remains 1-2. 4 runs already home for Yakima Valley. Garcia, the lead runner at third. The 1-2 pitch waved on and missed. Hubka down on strikes for the 2nd time today, and that will retire the side here in the 8th. Yakima Valley with 4 runs on 4 hits, no errors, and there were 3 Pippins left on base. 9-0 Yakima Valley. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 6 outs to work with for the Riverhawks. Come right back. This is Pippins Baseball. Welcome to the bottom of the 8th inning here at Remax Field. Luke McGuire trading in the baseballs with Scott Eckhart. They had a promotion during this half inning where folks ran from foul pole to foul pole, and somebody was walking about halfway through. They are just now getting off the field. So McGuire getting the good graces of Scott Eckhart. He will clean off a relatively clean home plate already. It's a turf field. Just trying to buy some extra time to get those folks off of the field of play. McGuire finished his warm-ups, now just standing around. pinch hitter coming up to the dish at the top of the order. Matt Van Slyke's day is done. This is the double nickel. Number 55 on the roster is Caden Colford. Colford on the season, 0 for 3. 0 batting average is now another delay. After the first pitch comes in, strike number 1. McGuire still out there trying to get through 8. Wave and a miss. Colford behind in the count, 0-2. Luke trying to save a relatively short-handed bullpen for the Pippins. 0-2 to Colford. Bounces in, 1-2. They had to use 4 guys last night because Mawhinney only went a third of an inning. Bo Lloyd went 2 2/3. Tornady went 2. Carl Mullen Kovash went 1. Shifu Hasegawa went 2 frames. 1-2. High and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. McGuire might not get through the 8th. Pippin's bullpen is working. As he sits at 85 pitches here. Wave and a miss on a changeup. Another strikeout for Luke McGuire. He's now set down 8 as the pinch hitters continue to come out here for the Riverhawks. Simon Verostek will get a pinch hit appearance. He wears number 5. So we go from the double nickel to the single nickel. First pitch, a strike from Luke McGuire at the knees. Verostek, a 0 batting average, 0 for 6 on the season. Playing in his 5th game. A lot of pinch hit appearances for him. Spits on a pitch downstairs, 1-1. Nice scenic shot being shown on the video board of the northern Saskatchewan River as the sun sets beyond the western sky. 1-1. Line drive. This is out towards second. Caught on a line by Nick Velasquez. Nick was diving to his left, stayed on his feet, grabbed the ball. There's 2 away here in the 8th. McGuire getting help from his defense tonight. He struck out 8. He's only allowed 6 hits. To this point so far, no runs. As another pinch hitter comes into the game, this is Luis Dion. We saw him last night. Lefty-lefty matchup. First pitch from McGuire, misses outside, ball 1. Dion pinch hit for Matt Van Slyke. He went 0 for 1 with a strikeout. 1-0. Breaking ball down and away to the lefty, 2-0. And so Dion, 125 batting average, playing in his 7th game. 2-0. In tight near the shoulder. 3 balls, no strikes. Looks like even Easton Andrews will be done tonight. There's another pinch hitter waiting in the on-deck circle. 3-0. Hard of the plate strike. McGuire stays in the count. We go from 51 to 15 when the 4-hole comes up next. Braden Scott will grab a bat. McGuire back in the count. He fires in a 3-2 pitch now, 83 miles an hour. Needs 1 more. Here comes the payoff. Line drive off the end of the bat on the left side, foul. "96 pitches by my count here by Luke McGuire. Here comes the payoff. Inside jam shot into center field for a base hit. Off the bench, Dion picks up his 2nd hit of the season. Still 2 away. Decision time for Coach Crustangel. He's going to get the bullpen a little bit more time to warm up. Parker asking Coach Krusty to stay off the field. He was holding his hand out, didn't want McGuire to get pulled, but it looks like that might be the decision here. Krusty hops over the line, gives a few hand claps to McGuire. Looks like the decision has been made as Luke McGuire, 97 pitches tonight, 7 2/3 innings of work. He pitches a shutout into the 8th. He strikes out 8 and did not walk a batter. Take a bow, Luke McGuire. Best start of the season for a Yakima Valley Pippin pitcher. We'll get you the information on the new arm when we come back. Yakima Valley leads it 9-0. Luke McGuire pitches a gem here in Edmonton. New arm into the game for Yakima Valley. Shifu Hasegawa pitches in his second straight night. He went 2 innings last night, giving up 2 hits and 1 run, 3 walks and 2 strikeouts. On the season, a 9 ERA. Over 5 innings he has pitched. 8 hits, 5 runs, all of them earned, 4 strikeouts, and 3 walks. He faces a lefty. Pinch hitting here, wearing number 15, Braden Scott. First pitch misses away, ball 1. So from 51 Easton Andrews to 15 Scott, the bench continues to empty for the Riverhawks. 1-0, Hasegawa fires one outside, but called a strike. 1-1. McGuire goes 96 pitches over 7 2/3 innings. Scott takes one down and away. Ball 2. 9-0 the lead. Pippin's all right with having Shifu go back out there for a second straight night. 2-1. Fired outside. So the count now 3-1. You've got Dion over at first. He got a pinch hit single that forced McGuire out of the game. Outside ball 4. Back-to-back base runners have reached. Hasegawa walks the first man he sees. Looks like we'll have yet another pinch hitter. As grabbing a bat is A.J. Marchetti to replace Jason Green. Going to be a lot of defensive changes when we get to the top of the 9th. Marchetti from Wheeling, Illinois, sends a deep fly ball out towards center field. O'Neill, playing the wind, has it blow it back to regular depth, and Hasegawa gets out of the inning. Riverhawks, no runs on 1 pinch hit that forced McGuire out of the game. No errors and 2 runners left on base. 1 more inning to play here in Edmonton. 9-0 Yakima Valley, looking to add on a couple more. It is so good for Yakima Valley tonight, leading 9-0, 9 runs, 11 hits, no errors. Edmonton, no runs, 7 hits, no errors. Starko still in the game. Defensive substitutions. Everybody that pinch hit comes in and stays in their spot. Colford at third, Vero second right, Marchetti the catcher, Scott the first baseman, Dion the second baseman. Pippins will respond by sending up a pinch hitter of their own to hit for Tyson Miller. This is Derek Hurtado. Hurtado got a pinch hit appearance last night. Pippins have 2 lefties on the bench. Hurtado one of them. He now active. Miller out for the last defensive half inning. 0-1. Hurtado plunked on the front foot. Leadoff man on here in the 9th inning. Pippins trying to extend the 9-run lead. Daichi Furuhato will come up to bat in his regular spot. Nick Velasquez due after him. For Hurtado, that is the 3rd time he's been on base so far. Hasn't had much action yet. Daichi takes one up near the eyelids, and it goes all the way to the backstop, allowing Hurtado on to second. Well, if you're Edmonton, you don't want to have to get another pitcher up in a 9-0 situation. Starko came in the 8th, gave up a couple of singles and then a couple of walks for striking out Cole Hubka. 1-0. Yanks it into the left-hand batter's box. 2 balls, no strikes. Starko set at the belt. 2-0. Remains upstairs. 3 balls, no strikes. Pippins scored 2 in the 5th, 3 in the 6th, 4 in the 8th. They lead at 9-0. Man at second, nobody out here in Edmonton. 3-0 pitch, bounces in. Daichi will take his walk. He's been on 4 times today. First and second, nobody out for Nick Velasquez trying to join the hit parade. Velasquez, Burt, and O'Neill, 3, 4, and 5 in the order, do not have hits. Neither does Jackson Walker down at the bottom, but you've seen a lot of guys get on base via hit by pitches, walks, or fielder's choices. Is now a mound visit going to be made by the Riverhawks? Pitching coach Jamie Wilson trying to calm down Starko and find 3 more outs. You never assume that anybody's conceding a game, but with how slow the bullpen, now there is action down there, but with how slow they're getting warmed up, you know that you'd rather not bring in another guy. Hasagawa for Yakima Valley will likely finish this game with a 9-run lead. Pippins on base runners taking part in the YMCA. They've got some tarps off here at the ballpark. Catching on with that trend. It's not a tarps off section. It's just a couple guys standing up, waving their shirts in the air. Nick Velasquez does have an RBI tonight, up for the 6th time. Starko sends his first pitch in, and it's ball 1 on the outer half. That'll give Jamie Wilson a few more gray hairs. Never like to see a first pitch ball after a mound visit. 1-0. Nick sends it foul back towards the press box and out of play over the canopy. 1-1. Good environment still on hand. Oh my goodness, the person that did the 999 finished it. They're just showing it up on the scoreboard. So we got a commemorative t-shirt as Starco crumples to a heap with a ball to the backstop. He grimaced a little bit. 2-1. Wild pitch moves the runners up to second and third. Young lady, probably in her 20s, finishing the 999 challenge. Congratulations. That is a dedication. Pippins helped her out, slowed down the game the last half of the time we've played. Pitch bounces in. It's 3-1 to Nick Velasquez. Starco just cannot find the strike zone. Now, there are some places, like I went to Coors Field about a month and a half ago, and their 999 challenge box that they sell was like half hot dogs. So there were 9 of them, but they were about half the size of a normal hot dog. So does that really count? Stepping off Starco. Count remains 3-1. I couldn't tell if these hot dogs were full size or half size or 3/4 size. I guess as long as it's a hot dog between 2 buns and then a glass of beer every time, it counts, right? 3-1. Velasquez takes ball 4. That's now back-to-back walks following a hit by pitch here in the 9th. Jake Lamferman's seen enough of Starco. We're going to have one more pitching change here for Edmonton. New arm coming in. Pippins have 9 runs. We'll take that part of the 999 challenge. Looking to add on with the bases loaded, nobody out. New pitcher when we come back. Welcome back to Edmonton, Remax Field. Sun continuing to set here in the Great White North. Sun sets a lot later than it usually does where I'm from. It was a little eerie driving up here because at about 4:30 in the morning we were passing through Seattle and the sun was already starting to come over the horizon. 9-0 Yakima Valley. New pitcher into the game for the Riverhawks is Lucas Weber Kitching. 6 foot, 220 from Northern Alberta Institute of Technology. On the season, 6 ERA, 0-1 record. He made a start earlier this year as the first pitch he fires is in there at 84 for a strike. 23 pitches thrown for Starco. Goes a third of an inning plus as all 3 runners on base are his responsibility. 0-1, down and away, 1-1 to Parker Burt. Burt trying to get a hit. Been on twice, had a sacrifice fly back in the 8th. Native of Calgary, Alberta. Down and away. 2 balls, 1 strike. Spent some time at Edmonton College, so Weber Kitching very familiar with the city. 2-1. Parker sends it the opposite way into right field. New right fielder Verostek is going to range over to his right and grab it before the track. Tagging on the runners at second and third. Hurtado comes home to score. Daichi moves up to third base. Pippins now have 10 runs on the board. Back-to-back nights with that figure. Another sacrifice fly for Parker Burt. First out here in the 9th. Staying put at first, Nick Velasquez. Here's Jay O'Neill. First pitch, nubbed off the end of the bat out to third. Line drive caught. O'Neill lines out to the new third baseman, Colford. So 2 away for Yakima Valley. Weber Kitching gives up a run but gets 2 outs. Last chance to extend the lead even more. Luis Garcia, 4 for 5 today, 3 singles and a double. Pitch dives inside. It's 1-0. Pippins have drawn 12 walks. They have 11 hits. They've scored 10 runs. Serves one out to right field. This is getting into the stands and down foul. Garcia looking for a 5th hit. Very rare feat in baseball. Takes a pitch downstairs. Blocking it well is Marchetti, the new catcher. Scoreboard says 2-1. I think it might be 2-2. Garcia goes the opposite way again, foul. Now it definitely is 2-2. Riverhawks will have 6, 7, and 8 due up in their order in the 9th. Runners at the corner for Yakima Valley. The 2-2 pitch inside hits Luis. So he'll get on for a 5th time. Preserves the 4 for 5 day at least. Garen Guler strolls to the plate. Pippins reload the bases. Furahada at third, Velasquez at second, Garcia at first. What a night for the Pippins offense. Guler takes a strike on the outer half, 0-1. Garen got in on the hit party back in the 8th inning, picked up an RBI single after walking 4 times. Whatever approach Garen's had at the plate, it's worked. 0-1, high and away, 1-1. Most of the crowd actually is still on hand, although that's hard for me to say because the crowd is still larger than all of the road games the Pippins had coming into this series combined. 1-1, cut and a miss at the top of the zone, 1-2. Last night's attendance was more than the other 6 combined. Not by much. That's an exaggeration, but if Ridgefield hadn't pulled 2,000 people on Wednesday night, that stat would probably be factual. 1-2. Garen takes upstairs, 2 balls and 2 strikes. I'll be interested to see what the final attendance of this game is. We were 75% capacity for most of the contest. 2-2 to Garen, breaking ball, half swing, called strike 3. Guler, it appears, swung through, so it's a forward-facing K. Yakima Valley done on offense. One more run comes across the plate. No hits in the inning, no errors, and there were 3 Pippins left on base. Bottom of the ninth is next. 3 more outs to get for Shifu Hasegawa. We'll bring you the action when we come back to Remax Field. Welcome back to Edmonton. Connor Kavnar will hit as scheduled. Daichi Furuhata looking for 3 outs here for the Yakima Valley Pippins. Did I say Daichi? I meant Shifu. Shifu Hasegawa. No, Daichi's still at third. First pitch well outside, 1-0. That was pitch number 7 of the outing for Hasegawa. Pippins had multiple guys without a hit, but most of them all reached base. Shifu inside, 2-0. Derek Hurtado came in for Tyson Miller. Wave and a miss by Kavnar, 2-1. He remains in the game in left field here in the 9th inning. Shifu's 2-1 inside, hits Connor Kavnar, leadoff man aboard here in the 9th. Another pinch hitter coming in for Jake Lamferman. So Kavnar hits in the designated hitter spot. He remains. But this, coming into the game, is Jake Tanner, wearing number 47. Runner takes off first pitch. It's sent the opposite way into right field. Going first to third will be the lead man, Kavnar. Pinch hit single for Tanner. Riverhawks with 2 on the base paths with nobody out. Cale Clark remains in the game. He will hit in his normal spot. Pips in danger of losing the shutout. Luke McGuire, 7 2/3 of sparkling baseball. No runs allowed on 7 hits, no walks, and 8 strikeouts. Daichi plays even with the bag with the runner at third. Wave and a foul ball back to the screen on the first pitch to Cale Clark. Shifu going to have to work through a little bit of adversity here. That 9 ERA means he's averaging about 1 earned run every appearance. He's pitched 5 innings so far. Slice the opposite way, down the left field line, fair. Goes all the way to the corner. 1 run comes home, and the ball gets out of play. There's an opening down on the left side that the ball can sneak through. It's going to be a ground rule double for Cale Clark. The Riverhawks break the shutout. Still nobody out here in the 9th. Pippins lead it 10-1. Yakima Valley bullpen has a couple guys take the jackets off. We might see someone like Eric Anthony start warming up in case Shifu runs into any more trouble. First pitch fouled straight back by Devin Simonton. He's the number 9 hitter. Rally caps are on here at Remax Field. They're going to need a big rally. 0-1 popped up on the infield. Walker coming in. He will make the catch. 1 away here in the 9th. 2 more to get. Back to the top of the lineup card. Caden Colford gets a second at bat. A lot of pinch hitters came in that 8th inning, and now they're starting to come back here in the 9th. First pitch, right past Shifu on the infield. Another run's going to score, but the ground ball goes to Nick at second for out number 2. RBI ground out for Colford. Riverhawks down to their final out to work with. They've got a man at third. That's Cale Clark after scoring. Jake Tanner. Virostek, the last hitter scheduled right now for the Riverhawks. First pitch, a called strike from Shifu. Off the bat, foul over on the right side, up towards the top of the seating area. No balls, 2 strikes. Pippins trying to close the book on what's been a very good game. Shifu delivers on the ground out towards second. Nick gonna fire onto first, and the ball game is over. Yakima Valley rides Luke McGuire to a 10-2 victory to even up the series here in Edmonton. In the final frame, there was 2 runs scored, there were 2 hits, there were no errors, and there was 1 Riverhawk left on base. The win, very obviously going to go to Luke McGuire, and I'll go have a chat with him after this contest and after we get off the broadcast airwaves. Hasagawa finishes it up, goes an inning and 2/3, giving up the 2 runs. Unfortunately, the shutout unable to be finished. Pippins get 10 runs on 11 hits, no errors. Riverhawks 2 runs, 9 hits, no errors. Looking at the box, Tyson Miller 3 for 4. Luis Garcia 4 for 5. And Cole Hubka had a big RBI single that brought home the first 2 runs in the 6th inning. That was after the Pippins had scored 2. They went on to score 3 more. They got 4 in the 8th, 1 in the 9th. And Yakima Valley evens the series, looking to take the win tomorrow on an early start, 1:05 p.m. first pitch. I'll be back with you then. Pregame will be at about 12:50 local time. That's 11:50 in Yakima. Until then, I'm Harmon Johnsen saying stay safe, have a wonderful rest of your night, and we'll talk to you tomorrow at around noon. Pippins even up the series 10-2. They win it here in Edmonton. Roll Pips.